Hello, children. I hope all of you are doing very well and you are doing your study also very well. We today are going to discuss another topic in transportation, that is a transportation in plants. Children, you know very well plants like a regular circulatory system like we are having, right? So we all know that plants prepare their food from the carbon dioxide, water in their leaves, and the other materials present in the plant body, like you can say minerals or metals or elements like nitrogen, phosphorus, and they are taken from the soil. So the conduction of these materials should be done into all part of the plant body. So how the transport is done in the plant body, that we will discuss in this module. So conduction of how many things is taking place in the plant body, or you can say, okay, so these are the things that will go from one part of the plant body to the another part. So that is basically how many things transport in plants is the water and minerals. So water and minerals go from the soil into the roots, and from roots it will go to all part of the plant body. So it is go against the gravity, or you can say it is go by the again it will go by a negative pressure. So that transport and it is done by one of the tissue, you know very well, that we call as a xylem. So transport of water, if we talk about the transport of minerals, we will talk about, so there is the two things involved. One is the through the xylem, and one process that we call as a transpiration. Another thing that will transport in the plant, that is a sugar. It means in the process of photosynthesis, plants used to make their own food, right? And that food is stored in the form of sugar. So that will also go from one from the leaf to the all part of the plant body, and it will transport through a tissue that we call as a phloem. And it will go like I told you, when the water moves it will go by the negative pressure, but when the sugar move, when always it will go by the positive pressure. Along with that, there is a exchange is taken place in the plants by the process of what? By the process of photosynthesis and respiration, that you have seen already in previous two topic of this chapter. So in case of photosynthesis, there is what? Carbon dioxide in and oxygen is out. In case of respiration, oxygen is in, carbon dioxide out, and the process take place, that is a photosynthesis, that is done through the stomata. If we talk about the oxygen in and carbon dioxide out, so that is also root exchange gases within the airspace in the soil. So these are the things that will transport in the plant. Right. Now, point is this: when we talk about the transport in plants, so you now I have told you they don't have a well-defined circulatory system, but there is a need of a something, there is a need of a pathway or a channel, by that these things will go from one place to the another place of the plant body. If you talk about the small plants, right? So a small plant or a small height plants, in that case conduction of the material can take place through the simple diffusion process. But when we talk about the transport in a long distance, or you can say in a higher plants, or you can say in a very huge trees, that time there is a need of a proper transport system. So in that case, there are the two pathways have developed in plants independent, which are basically what? Which are the xylem vessels and the phloem vessels. So xylem is meant actually for the water and minerals. It will take from the roots to all of the part body, and these vessels are known as a xylem vessels. And another vessels which transport the sugar and amino acid that is manufactured in the leaves to the all part of the body, that is taken place through the phloem vessels. You can see in this diagram also, children. If you see what is there, sunlight, right? During by in the process of photosynthesis, sunlight is taken from the leaf, carbon dioxide is coming, and plants are making the sugar, means process of photosynthesis is going on. So this sugar is where? This sugar is in the leaf, and it will go all part of the plant body, right? Like you can see in this blue arrow, what is there? The movement of the sugar is bidirectional. It will go up and down as well. But when we talk about the transport of the water and minerals, that is taken by the roots. So in that case, what happens? It will go just a unidirection, mean it will go against the gravity, or it will go by a negative pressure by a system that we call as a xylem transport system. Now, point is this: how the water and the minerals are moving against the gravity or by the negative pressure. So that we will discuss. Transport of water, actually, when we talk about the transport of water, so it is going by a transport system that I have told you, that is a xylem transport system, right? So when actually, how it is possible? Because xylem tissue of the plant have an interconnected network of the vessels and tracheids of root, stem and leaves. What I'm trying to say, actually, you know very well, if you have remember from your previous class, there is a four things present in the xylem tissue, that is a tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. So among these four components, vessels and tracheids are basically concerned with the transport of water, right? So they form a continuous system of water conducting channels which reaches all part of the plant, right? At the root cell in contact with the soil actively take up the ions. So how the potential will difference for that? First of all, what things will happen? At the roots, cell is in the direct contact with the soil and actively they take up ions. Actively means against the concentration gradient, and it create a difference in the concentration of these ions between the root and the soil. So due to that, what happens? The water start moving into the root from the soil, from higher concentration to the lower concentration, and make the concentration equal. So there is a steady movement of water into the root system from the soil that creates a column of water pushing it upwards. As you can see in this flow chart also, what is that? Absorption of ions by roots from the soil, right? Due to that, what happens? There is a potential difference create, and movement of water into the root xylem from the soil take place. So water will come come into the root xylem, then it start entering into the stem xylem. From stem xylem, it will reach to the xylem in leaves, and in leaves there is a need of water for the process of photosynthesis, right? And how this channel is going on, how there is a continuous column or the water will maintain. So there is always, whenever there is a movement, always it will go from higher concentration to the lower concentration. So in that case, there should be always inside the plant, it always should be in a deficient stage. So for that, what happens? Actually, there is a loss of water takes place through the stomata in leaves, a process that we call as a transpiration. And due to that, there is a succession pressure develop, and water is in a continuous channel, or you can say in a continuous pathway from roots up to the leaves. So this is the way of the transport of water in all part of the plants. So now you can see in this diagram also, what is that? These are the xylem vessels. So these vessels in xylem of all the part of the plant body connected to each other make a column, right? And due to that, what happens? Water is moving in a continuous column. You can see in this one also, there is a flow chart how the transpiration helps in the transport of water. So what happens? Due to loss of transpiration is actually what? Loss of water. So that is a transpiration. It creates a pressure. So due to that pressure, absorption of water and minerals, the upward pull of the water and minerals, and that upward pull of the water and minerals due to that succession pressure, and given by the or you can say create by the transpiration. So that process is known as the ascent of sap. Why we are saying ascent of sap? Because water and minerals are moving in a upward direction due to the loss of water, and when the loss of water take place, there is a create of a pressure that we call as a process, that is a ascent of cell. So this is the way how the transpiration help in transport of the nutrients. So what is transpiration? If we talk about the transpiration, means loss of water in the form of vapors from the aerial part of the plant body, that we call as a transpiration. Transpiration process actually help in the plant in number of ways. It helps in the absorption and upward movement of the water and minerals, and by creating a pull that we call as a transpiration pull. In that, what happens, actually water molecules are going to be attached each other by a cohesion, and the water column is having a attraction with the xylem vessels. So there is a cohesion and addition between the water molecules and the xylem vessels, and there is a transpiration pull or transpiration pull pressure is given by a continuous loss of water, and along with that there is a root pressure also that help in the upward movement of the water from the roots to all part of the plant body. So this is the way there is a movement of the water in the plants, right? So there is a one more thing, when the water entering roots create a weak pushing force that we call as a root pressure, or it will root pressure on the upward movement of the water through the xylem. And these children, very important, please note it down somewhere. This the effect of root pressure is in transport of water is more important at night, because in the night there is a stomata is going to be closed, and in that case the transport of water is done by this root pressure. During the daytime, when the stomata are open, the transpiration pull become the major driving force in the movement of water in xylem. So these are the things by that the transport of the water take place in the plants. So this is a very simple points that we have already discussed in that. What is that? How many things, or you can, what is the significance of the transpiration? Very important significance is the transpiration, absorption of water. Transpiration influence the rate of absorption of water from the soil. Now you know very well. By transpiration, water moves upward, and as it passes into the cell vacuoles, it make the cell turgid. You know very well, when the water is coming inside of the cell through the plasma membrane, cell becomes turgid, and this give form and shape to the cell and plants as a whole. So there is a shape that is taken by the plants, that is also one of the significance due to the transpiration. When the water is moving, along with that there is a upward movement of the dissolved minerals with it. So transpiration help in distributing these minerals throughout the plant. Along with that very important process, that is the evaporation of water during the transpiration cools the leaves also. So cooling effect is also done by the transpiration. And some plants, like for example xerophytic plants, those who are growing in a very less water condition or scarcity of water, like cacti or Panacea, so they retain water by reducing the transpiration, and this saves the plant from high temperature and a strong sunlight. So these are the very important points related to the transpiration. You can say these are the significance of the transpiration. So transpiration pull theory is what? Due to the loss of water, there is a continuous succession pressure is developed between the all part of the plant body, and due to that water start moving from the root hairs to the all part of the plant body. So that theory is known as a transpiration pull theory. Another transport system that participate in the transport of the substance in the plant body, that is a phloem transport system. And in phloem transport system there is a participation of a tissue that we call as a phloem tissue. If you remember, again phloem is having a four component, that is a sieve tube, companion cell, parenchyma and fibers. Now you can see in this diagram also, what is this? These are the sieve tubes, Sieve tube is having a sieve plate pores, and along with that there is a companion cell, and the connection between the sieve tube and companion cell is through by a channel that we call as a plasmodesmata. And who is having that? These are the source and sink, means the wherever the food is available, that point is known as a source, and where it will reach, that we call as a sink. So what is that transport? When the transport of or you can say movement of the soluble products of the photosynthesis from leaves to other part of the plant body is going. So that process, or going by a phloem or via phloem, that process is known as the translocation. You can see in this diagram also, what is that? Glucose produced by the photosynthesis is converted into sugar, you know very well, and translocated to different parts of the plant body. So when it will go to the all part of the plant body. Along with that, there is other substance also move in the by the phloem, that like the amino acids and the hormones. These substances are especially delivered to storage organs of the roots, fruits, seeds, and the growing organ. So when the translocation of the these substances take place in the phloem is mainly actually achieved by utilizing the energy. So material like sucrose transfer through ATP, which increase the osmotic pressure of the tissue, causing water to move into it. Now see very well, what is that? When the water, when the food is manufacturing, it is manufacturing where? In the leaf, right? And when it will go to the all part of the plant body, means it will go, basically it is required by the growing part of the plant body. Now point is this, how this sugar will move? There is a need of pressure, there is a need of something that will push this food to the all part of the plant body. So that pressure is actually when the sucrose transfer through the ATP, and due to that there is an increase of atmospheric pressure of the osmotic pressure of the tissue, that causing water of the xylem to move into it. You know very well what is that? These are the companion cells of the phloem, and parallelly after with the phloem there is a xylem tissue also, right? In the xylem tissue there is a tracheids and vessels, we have seen in the previous slide. From that, due to the osmotic, and what is the nature of the water? Water moves from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. So if we talk about the phloem is having a concentration of the sugar, means they have a low concentration of water, and for the movement of the food, that is where in the phloem there is a need of pressure. So what happens from the adjacent xylem? Due to that osmotic pressure difference of the water comes from the xylem into the phloem, and that pressure push the sucrose or sugar into the next cell. So the pressure that moves the material into the phloem to the tissue with the less pressure. So this allow phloem to move material according to the plant's need, means wherever it is required, from source to the sink, it start moving. For example, if we talk about the in spring, sugar stored in roots or the stem tissue would be transported to the birds which need more energy to grow. In the spring season, what happens? Sugar is required by the growing parts. So where it is stored in the roots, it is stored in the stem. It will transport to the growing part, that is a bud. So it will start transporting, and for the translocation of the substance, basically which part of the phloem is responsible? That is the sieve tube and the companion cell. So these are the way how the transport system of the plants work, and for that there is a two transport system, that is a xylem and phloem transport system. So children, this is all about if the translocation of the food, and completely you can say this is the transport system in the plants. So we are done with this topic completely. Means transportation in humans, transportation in plants, completely. In the next video, we will meet with the next topic of this chapter, that is a excretion. Thank you.